Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, the home of the 2020 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. I am your host, Chris Jardine, a.k.a. Snaggle J, Director of Live Content Services for Out of the Park Baseball, and I am joined to my, I don't know what direction that is. It's my left, I think. Oh, my geez. Uh-oh, hang on. Hold on. I have the stream open on my phone. Oh, my geez. Rookie move, guys. Rookie move. Rookie move. I am joined in the middle of your screen by the one, the only, the incomparable Richard Grisham. Rich, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Chris. This is going to be so much fun. I'm so glad to be here. Can't wait. Let's do this.
And I am joined on the far side of my left by the man who is primarily responsible for the reason why we are even here, Kenny Jacklin from Baseball Reference. Kenny, thank you so much for coming to the stream.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So, Kenny, I'm going to start with you. Baseball Reference is pretty much the reason why we are here. The 2020 season, you guys have been all over it. You guys have been simulating it using Out of the Park Baseball 21, posting some amazing content every day on your website. Where did you guys originally decide, hey, like, we think this is a good idea to simulate the 2020 season and kind of dedicate this section of your website to it in the absence of real baseball?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as it appeared that we weren't going to have any new games being giving us new content for the site, we were trying to think of ways to give our users a reason to keep coming back to the site and kind of reward them for staying loyal to us. And we thought that with Out of the Park being such a great simulation engine, we could have a lot of fun by just kind of giving a glimpse into what a baseball season might look like if it were being played right now. And so we started just with one sim, see how it goes. Could go crazy, and uploading those results to the site every day, and we've been having a lot of fun with it.
And for the people who may be checking into the BB Ref Sim for the first time, are you guys doing anything different with the season? Like, are there trades? Are there injuries? Is everything pretty much status quo?
Yeah, so we've got trades and transactions are on. So we put out polls to our Twitter followers to see what people wanted to see when we launched it at the beginning of the season, and it was an overwhelming consensus that folks wanted to see simulated trades and free agent signings. But what we did do is we left injuries turned off. We didn't want to risk having our one sim of the season end up with Mike Trout going down with an ACL injury in the first week or something like that. We wanted to make sure that we had a little insurance on some of those exciting personalities sticking around. So we've had a lot of fun with that. We had Yasiel Puig was kind of the big free agent. Finally, today in real life, looks like he's found his new home, but he signed with the Giants a few months ago in our simulation.
Yes, and Rich, we've talked about this a few times, how we hatched the idea and how I kind of approached you and kind of said, hey, I've been following along with the sim. I think it would be really cool if we would do this. Rich, have you ever done color commentary for a Major League Baseball All-Star Game before?
Only when sitting next to you and TJ last year in the stands in Cleveland. So if that qualifies, then the answer is yes. Otherwise, I'm going to have to say no.
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, I've never done play-by-play for an All-Star Game before, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We will be playing out the 2020 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. If you guys have not already followed along, make sure you guys head over to Baseball Reference. Check out the sim. They have all of the stats, the standings, basically anything that you could find for an actual 2020 Major League Baseball season. You're pretty much going to find it for the 2020 simulation. It is a lot of fun. Kenny, do you guys plan on keeping the simulation going when the season resumes here in about 9 days?
Yeah, so we're gonna continue updating it each day and uploading the new results. We figure it's good to have that in our back pocket. The future is unpredictable, especially with everything that's going on. So we've got this to fall back on in case we find ourselves without baseball again. And even if that's not the case, it'll be fun if your favorite team gets off to a poor start. You can check in on the alternate universe, and maybe they're doing better.
Exactly.
And what happens if the Blue Jays are terrible in both? Because I
Uh,
have concerned. I have concerns. Can I speak to the manager, please? Because I have major concerns. But hey, you know what? It's all in good fun. Again, guys, we're here to have a great time. We hope you guys are going to enjoy the show, whether you're watching live here on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments, or you're watching the archive of it, which will be up tomorrow over on our YouTube channel as well. If you're brand new to the Twitch stream, make sure you go down below and you hit the follow button and follow the channel. We appreciate all your guys' support here on the channel as always. Now, let's flip on over, ladies and gentlemen, and let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's Major League Baseball All-Star Game, which were voted on by the Baseball Reference Twitterverse. For the American League, leading off and playing shortstop, we have Francisco Lindor. Batting second, the left fielder, Michael Brantley. Batting third, the center fielder, some guy named Mike Trout. Not sure how he won the voting, but anyway. Batting fourth, the cleanup hitter, first baseman, Carlos Santana. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Yordan Alvarez. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Matt Chapman. Seventh, the catcher, Yasmani Grandal. The second baseman, DJ LeMahieu. And batting ninth, the right fielder, Byron Buxton. And the starting pitcher for the American League is Garrett Cole. The starters for the National League, leading off, the left fielder Juan Soto. Batting second, the right fielder Christian Yelich. Batting third, the third baseman Nolan Arenado, who, if you guys missed it on Twitter earlier today, was the home run derby champion in the simulation. Batting fourth, the cleanup hitter, the center fielder Cody Bellinger. Batting fifth, the first baseman Pete Alonso. Batting sixth, the catcher JT. Oh, stop it over there. JT Real Muto. Batting seventh, the designated hitter David Dahl. Batting eighth, the shortstop Trevor Story. And batting ninth, the second baseman Ozzie Albies, the starter. A gentleman who is having a pretty historic start to the 2020 simulated season from the Washington Nationals, Max Scherzer. Kenny, surprises, shocks, anything of those 20 names that we have on the screen that you would qualify as perhaps surprising?
I was surprised to see Byron Buxton make the starting lineup. You don't have to convince me about it. You saw I was wearing a Twins hat. I'm a big fan, but it was definitely fun to see him climb up into the top three. Even above some New York Yankees. So definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do here. Yeah, like you said, Mike Trout, not sure about that one. Kind of underwhelming performance, only 5.5 WAR so far.
I agree.
Yeah. On the other side, really excited about Max Scherzer. Like you said, he's having such a great season in the sim. He's already at over 200 strikeouts by midseason, which is just insane. So definitely interested to see what he can do.
I agree. Rich, surprises, shocks. I know you got Polar Bear Pete batting in the 5 hole. He is, I believe, the only first baseman on the roster for the National League. Pete going to play 9 innings in this one, Rich, or are they going to be
playing 9?
Or are they going to be pulling out some little bit of position swap tactics here?
I hope he's playing 9 because of a controversy that we'll get to in just a minute. He's the only guy in the orange and blue on this team,
That's
so
true.
he better be out there representing the good guys the whole game.
Okay, well, let's take a look now at the reserves for both sides. The American League, catcher Mitch Garver, catcher Gary Sanchez, second baseman Shed Long Jr., ladies and gentlemen. Third baseman Heimer Candelario, third baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr., third baseman Alex Bregman, third baseman Jose Ramirez, shortstop Marcus Semien, shortstop Gleyber Torres, center fielder Mike Tauchman, right fielder Max Kepler, and right fielder Trey Mancini. For the NL, behind the plate, you have Buster Posey and Kurt Suzuki. In the infield, Adam Frazier, Colton Wong, Chris Bryant, Manny Machado, Paul DeJong, and Miguel Rojas. And in the outfield, Jesse Winker, Ronald Acuna Jr., Victor Robles, and Mookie Betts. Again, Kenny, we'll go to you first. Anything on that screen stick out to you? Any surprises? Any notable snubs?
I think the most notable snub to me was Malik Smith from Seattle, who maybe a little bit one-dimensional, but he's got 50 stolen bases, and nobody else in the league has more than 29. So it would have been fun to see him get to showcase his speed on the big stage like this. But yeah, there wasn't room for him on the team, it looks like.
Rich, again, now I know the controversy you're talking about. You don't see any other Mets in the reserves. What are you feeling? What's going through your head right now when you look at the backup position players for both the AL and the NL?
This is what's going through my head, Chris. 291 batting average, 361 on base, 430 slugging, 10 homers, 38 RBI, a 2.8 wins above replacement. You know who I'm talking about. The legendary Luis Guillorme. He's not on this team. It's not right, Chris. It's not right.
I mean, if anybody listened to our fantastic weekly podcast earlier today, OOTP Now, you will know that I did sing Guillorme's praises quite high.
Exactly.
Definitely
yes.
Not pandering to Rich at all.
You raised my awareness of the situation here. Raised it starkly.
Yes. And last but not least, let's take a look at the reserve pitchers on each side. On the AL, we have Lucas Giolito, Andrew Heaney, Jorge Lopez, Sean Manaea, Shohei Ohtani, Blake Snell, Taylor Gilbo, Ian Hamilton, Zach Littell, Ken Giles, Liam Hendricks, and Rafael Montero. On the NL side, we have Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, Max Fried, Clayton Kershaw, Freddie Peralta, Trevor Williams, Ryan Helsley, Kwang Young Kim, Emilio Pagan, James Sherpy, Ranger Suarez, and Kenley Jansen. Rich, I'm going to go to you first. I've seen it in the chat multiple times. No Jacob deGrom. Are you rattled at this point looking at these rosters?
10.9 strikeouts per 9, 1.091 whip, 7 victories, a 3.07 ERA, 15 quality starts, 160 strikeouts in 132 innings. It is criminal that Jacob deGrom is not on this team representing the Mets, Chris. It's criminal.
Criminal indeed. Kenny's taking detailed notes, I could tell, of all the errors and omissions with the sim. Kenny, you have to give the NL, you would think, an edge in the pitching department, would you not?
Yeah, I'd say so. They're very, very stacked especially in the starting pitching. Walker Buehler and Clayton Kershaw would be a historic 1-2 duo with the way that they're pitching this year. And Jack Flaherty has been carrying St. Louis to the top of the division and a nice lead in the NL Central. So definitely a strong staff over there. I'd have to give them the edge over the AL.
Perfect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream here at twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. We are about to get underway. Let's go over to the game now and jump into our first pitch. You see, I have to advance one screen after I turn off my taskbar because, preparation is key. Everyone watching the stream is not surprised that my taskbar is still, showing in the screen, of course. Alrighty. One last little. Why isn't it disappearing? Uh-oh. Did I break it? Chat broke my taskbar.
You're good.
Automatically hide the taskbar. On. Interesting. Maybe it'll go away afterwards. Weird. Oh, well, we're rolling with it for now. I'm just going to do a quick little scan before we get going to make sure the lineups are correct, that nothing has borked in the last 4 minutes since I set them up. People in the chat saying, hey, don't blame us. Listen, chat, you guys have been here long enough. You guys know who the scapegoat is. Oh, that's why. Because I had a notification for Skype at the bottom. All right.
There you go.
I will have to.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm just going to. I know people in the chat will be upset, but I am going to have to turn the sound for the in-game down quite significantly because it completely drowns out me being able to hear Rich and Kenny. I do apologize for that, but I need to be able to hear my wingmen here, ladies and gentlemen. And there we have it, folks. We are ready to go. Max Scherzer is on the hill for the National League here at Chavez Ravine. Just to give you guys a heads up how we're going to do this, we are going to do one pitch mode, so one pitch per at bat. We will pause every now and then, hopefully like somewhat of a regular broadcast. One last thing before we get going. Kenny, who is your prediction for most valuable player in today's All-Star game?
I think I'm gonna pick a dark horse here. I'm gonna take David Dahl over in the National League. Ooh. He's been slugging out in Colorado, and he's I think he's gonna click. We'll see.
Okay, Rich, who you got?
Well, I'm going to go based on some in-person research last year when a Cleveland Indian won the MVP at home in Cleveland. So I'm going to go with Bellinger. I think he's going to do what it has to take. He's going to leave Alonso on deck. Alonso would be positioned to hit the game-winning home run, but Bellinger's going to hit it instead and win the MVP.
All right, and as I look out over the field here, I see Tommy Lasorda throwing out the ceremonial first pitch to a massive ovation here. My pick for MVP is Cody Bellinger. I think Belly's going to have a pretty solid game. He's coming into this on quite the hot streak, on a tear as of late coming into the All-Star game. I think that's going to continue today. I think he's going to walk away with that crystal bat or whatever the heck they give out for the MVP. I have a picture of it on my phone from last year. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I might be close. I'm sure somebody in the chat will correct me pretty much immediately. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the first pitch. Francisco Lindor standing in to face Max Scherzer. And here comes the 2-2. And that's lined into center field. A diving play right off the bat. My man Cody Bellinger with a diving play in center field for the first out of the ball game. Look at there, ladies and gentlemen, some fireworks right off the bat. Definitely Bellinger heard me pick him for sure. He's wearing a earpiece down there listening to the broadcast. That's going to bring up Michael Brantley here with one down. Scherzer falls behind 2-0. It's back up the middle. Hopper. And they're going to make the play 6-3, Story over to first, and it's quick 2 outs here. And that's going to be Mike Trout now. Again, a relative unknown coming into the season. Notice at the bottom left corner, I don't know how well you guys can see it on the stream, but Mike Trout hitting .520 on the first pitch this year, which is absolutely insane.
Oh, my gosh.
Of all the Mike Trout things you could ever say, that might be the most Mike Trout thing. Here comes the full count pitch from the Scherz. And he goes down swinging. So 1, 2, 3, go the American League in the top of the first. Scherzer puts him down in order, and we're going to go to the bottom of the first here. No score. Juan Soto is going to lead it off for the NL, facing Garrett Cole. Pretty good season for Cole. 171 strikeouts so far, 131 innings, and only 21 walks. 2-2 to Soto. Cole set. And he goes down swinging 98 miles an hour on that one from Cole for out number 1. Christian Yelich going to step in now. Hit 986 OPS and 21 home runs so far. Here's the 1-2. And he goes down looking, back-to-back strikeouts to start the bottom of the first for Cole. And we're at 2 down. That'll turn it over now to our home run derby champion, Nolan Arenado, currently 3rd in the National League at the break with 74 runs batted in. And here comes the first pitch from Cole. That ball's hit into the right center field gap. That's going to have a chance to get down. And that is over the wall. It sneaks over the top of the wall. Nolan Arenado goes deep to the right center field gap on the first pitch. And the National League strike first. It's 1-0. And Rich, I have to say, I'm not sure what you make of that, but a 94-mile-an-hour first pitch fastball from Cole. Maybe just a little get me over one to Arenado, and Arenado makes him pay.
Yeah, I think that's what he was looking for. He saw what happened to the guys in front of him, said, all right, I'm just looking for a fastball. I'm swinging, and I think he got what he wanted.
Well, there you go. The NL jumping out to a 1-0 lead. Bellinger steps in now. Here comes the 1-2. And it's popped up down the first baseline in foul territory. They will make the play. So a Nolan Arenado home run. And after one, The National League leads 1-0. Kenny, did you put the prop bet in for the National League scoring first?
I didn't, but it looks like I picked the wrong Colorado Rocky as my pick for MVP.
That's true. It is extremely early, though, as we go to the top of the second.
By the way, let me just say, I really like the jerseys. The jerseys look great in this. I'm very happy with that.
Yes, I agree. They do look good. I need to remind to set AI control. There we go. All right, so pitching change for the National League. Ryan Helsley into the game, first man out of the bullpen. 53 innings pitched on the season, has 59 strikeouts and a 2.89 ERA, only 36 hits allowed as well.
How do you take somebody out of the game when they just struck out Mike Trout?
Well,
Good point.
You're trying again. There's a certain modicum of not wanting to wear guys out here. It's one of those things. I guess I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm more the traditionalist. I would like to see a guy go 2 innings, but it's one of those things.
Dwight Gooden and Roger Clemens both went 3 full in the '86 All-Star game in Houston. I think that's the bar we should aspire to.
Yeah, and they were having pretty horrible seasons in 1986. Gooden and Clemens, were they not? They were on the top of their game back then. It was insane.
That's exactly right.
All right, so Helsley now, Carlos Santana from the Cleveland Indians steps in. A little bit of a shift actually employed here by the National League, playing Santana to pull in both the infield and the outfield. Helsley works it to a full count, and that's going to miss inside for ball 4. Santana takes a 6-pitch walk, and the AL have their first runner of the ball game. And that's going to bring up Yordan Alvarez now. 91 runs batted in for Alvarez so far, an absolute blistering first half. Santana's over at first. Here comes the first pitch. And that ball is hit high in the air to right field, but it'll stay in the ballpark. That's going to be a fly out to right field. Yelich pulls it in. Alvarez is retired for out number 1. 102 miles an hour that fastball was recorded at. Absolute heat. In comes Matt Chapman now with 1 down. Santana's still over at first. Here's the 2-2. And he goes down looking, a 72-mile-an-hour curveball. Chapman goes down on strikes for out number 2. Grandal steps in. First pitch. Grounder to first base. Alonso up with it, and he's not going to be able to make it in time. A little bit of miscommunication there between Alonso and Helsley allows Grandal to reach on an infield single. We're checking with the scorer. It is a single, not an error. And Santana moves up to second base now. First and second with 2 down. And the New York Yankees' DJ LeMahieu steps in. That ball's hit high to left field. Playable. Will stay in the ballpark. And the American League are retired. They get 2 on. Nobody across. And after 1.5, the National League lead 1-0. Kenny, off the top of your head and with no preparation whatsoever, what are some of the stranger things you can remember happenings in the simulation so far?
I think one of the strangest ones, probably the least realistic thing, was Madison Bumgarner throwing an 11-inning shutout.
I remember the tweets after that one.
Yeah, I heard about that one a few times. No doubt.
And I think it was Kevin Gausman, I think, was the opposing pitcher, and he went 10. So it was just a crazy game. It would be amazing to see in today's league.
What's funny is Gausman only had 61 pitches in 10 innings. But no, I'm just kidding. That's not the case.
Yes, I do. I remember what happened after that one, the fallout of the Bumgarner-Gausman game.
Yeah.
For sure. So we're going to go to the bottom of the second here. Jorge Lopez, first man in from the bullpen for the AL, relieving Garrett Cole. And Rich's favorite player in the history of mankind, Pete Alonso, is going to step in to lead off the second. 3-1 count. And that's a fly ball to right, shallow. And Buxton, all kinds of speed for days. No problem coming in and making that play for out number 1. Real Muto now going to step in here. The Phillies catcher. 1-1 count. Fly ball to center. Routine. Medium depth. Couple of steps to the right. And Trout is parked perfectly underneath it. Makes the play. Couple of easy quick outs for Lopez here. And here comes the man, David Dahl, starting that designated hitter today. Great first half of the season for the Colorado Rocky outfielder. 319, 353 average OPS wise, or on base percentage wise. 20 home runs and 58 RBIs so far. Here comes the 1-1 from Lopez. That ball's laced back up the middle. That's going to be a 2-out single for David Dahl, making someone's MVP predictions look pretty good. Base hit
also getting a taste of what it's like to watch the National League with the DH.
That's right. And he's going to turn it over now to his teammate Trevor Story. Runner at first with 2 down is Dahl. 0-2 the count. And that ball's ripped into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Well struck there by Trevor Story. Back-to-back base hits for the Colorado Rockies All-Stars. And the National League are threatening here in the bottom of the second. They have 2 men on with 2 down. And Ozzie Albies is going to step in here. First pitch to Albies.
The Rockies are going to win this all on their own for the NL.
They might. And that's, what a great play in left field. Michael Brantley trending back towards the warning track. Makes a great lunging play to save at least 1 run. And after 2 here at Dodger Stadium, it's National League 1, American League, no score. Ranger Suarez into the game. A very interesting season for the Phillies pitcher so far. 7-3, 99 innings pitched, only 19 walks versus 89 strikeouts, and a 2.55 ERA. And I'm just waiting for people in the chat to be like, who?
Well, at least I wasn't the first one to say that out loud, because I'm like, wait, I know the Phillies pretty well, and I don't know who this guy is.
Who? I mean, this is the thing. Listen, you know what? And it's kind of funny because if we start our focus turning towards IRL baseball, which again, if all goes well, knock on wood, we're looking at less than 2 weeks away.
Huh?
You could see some very unheralded players in a 60-game season do some very atrociously gaudy things on the stat sheet.
So, real quick, we're, as Chris, as you know, we're preparing to release our official 2020 predictions, right? Based upon our process, our 1,000, simulation process. And while we can't announce the official time and date and partner, it's very similar to what we've been doing in recent years. And it's going to be announced officially soon. But as we were talking about that today, and I want to ask both of you real quick, Chris, what's the number going to be for the home run, the major league leader in home runs this year? What's it going to be? What's the number, Chris?
19.
What do you think, Kenny?
I was going to say 20.
I'm going with 23 because I think somebody's going to have just one of those 2-week stretches where they're going to get like 9, but I think it's going to be such a weird year. Like, it's just hard to predict so many things. So yeah, I'm going with 23, but yeah, I think we're all in the same ballpark. It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I wouldn't be surprised if somebody and maybe even a few different people surpass 20, but again, it's very unpredictable. You don't know what level of preparation and readiness everybody is at and has been staying at. Some people have been pitching every 3 days. Some people have not touched a baseball in 4 months. It's one of those things where, again, the right guy gets hot at the right time. I mean, you could see someone hit 25 home runs in 60 games. But again,
I'm going to use StatHead to figure something out. I'm going to find who has the most home runs in a 60-game stretch.
I think that's already. I think they already. If I dig back through the tweet archives, I think that might already be out there.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but I don't know what it is. So I got to go my StatHead subscription to find that
My
out.
biggest reason for saying 19 is I feel like the chances that somebody plays 60 games is very slim. Again, with the taxi squad and the traveling and the compression, I think you'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if anybody actually plays in all 60 games or even 55 games. I think you're going to see teams be very cautious with their regulars and maybe try to keep them to 45, 50 games, which will obviously suppress the home run leader.
I can see that too, no doubt.
Yes. All right, well, let's go to the top of the third inning. Byron Buxton, the number 9 hitter for the AL, stepping in to face Suarez. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And he goes down looking. Slider, 91 miles an hour on the outside corner. Buxton's down. No swing on that one for out number 1. Back to the top of the order now for Francisco Lindor, 0 for 1 so far on the day. Here comes the first pitch. And that ball's ripped back up the middle for a base hit. Lindor with a 1-out single. The American League has a runner on here in the top of the third with 1 down. And that's going to bring up Michael Brantley. 0 for 1 as well so far. Here comes the 0-2. And big slide, or changeup, sorry, my bad. Caught looking for strike 3. Brantley goes down on 3 pitches. And that's going to leave it all up again to the relative unknown Mike Trout. Coming from out of nowhere to hit 28 home runs.
Come from South Jersey, USA, man. That's where this guy's
That's right.
from.
The Millville Meteor.
You got it.
With 28 home runs and 12 stolen bases out of nowhere in the first half of the season. Here comes the 1-2, and he goes down swinging. Suarez gets the job done, works around a 1-out single, and after 2.5, the National League hanging on to that 1-0 lead. And now things are going to get interesting because the American League have brought in Shohei Ohtani to pitch the bottom of the third inning as the National League turns their lineup over to the top of the order.
Is he going to stay in and just hit for? Is they going to give him an at bat or something?
I anticipate he probably will not, where they're using the designated hitter. Because, again, if you put him in the game, they would lose the DH for the remainder of the game. So, probably unlikely that Ohtani will stay in the game. But, hey, stranger things have happened. We've had All-Star games end in a tie. So, so Juan Soto steps in 0 for 1 in the game. 2-2 is the count. Here it comes from Ohtani. That one is swung on and gets away. That is going to be a strikeout and a wild pitch. So Soto will reach first on the wild pitch. Interesting way to get a base runner on in an all-star game, but hey, I think they're going to take it. And the leadoff man is on for Christian Yelich. 1-2 now to Yelich. And he goes down swinging. A nasty, nasty slider there. 88 miles an hour from Ohtani. And that's a big strikeout and out number 1. Arenado now, the man responsible for the only run of the game so far, steps in here with 1 down. And Soto still standing over at first. 1-2 is the count. And that is 102 miles an hour right past the bat of Nolan Arenado for out number 2. We are seeing some absolutely insane fastballs being thrown in this game so far. And there's another one and a huge strikeout from Shohei Ohtani. 2 out now for Cody Bellinger. My man, Cody Bellinger, who's going to win MVP, as you heard me correctly predict.
You heard me predict it too there, Chris. You had 2 of us with him. Don't forget.
Yes, that's very true. So here comes, it's 3-0 to Bellinger, and Ohtani wants no part of him. That one was 2.5 feet outside. And he gives Bellinger the free pass. So that puts Soto up to second.
Hey, Chris, real quick, before Alonso steps up to the plate, do you happen to remember the home run derby last year that we watched in person?
I have vague recollections of it, yes.
Do you remember how pleasant the Cleveland Indians fans were to the very loud, respectfully loud, but very loud and boisterous Mets fans cheering on one of the most fun events anyone's ever watched?
I do very much so, yes.
Thank you to all the nice Cleveland fans who were so nice to me. Thank you.
I was sitting yelling insanely for Vladdy, and I got a couple of eyeballs, but 99.9% of the people were very, very good at understanding and having a lot of fun, and it was a blast. I mean, I had people say, "Oh my God, it was so much fun to watch on TV." I said, "Yeah, being there in person added a different element to it, but it was definitely a heck of a time." There was a lot of fireworks, and we have the potential for some fireworks here now.
That's right.
Bottom of the third, 2 out. Juan Soto at second, Cody Bellinger at first, and the polar bear, Pete Alonso, at the dish. It is 1-2, And he goes down swinging.
Ah.
Ohtani, ladies and gentlemen, with 4 strikeouts in an inning. As he had the one with the wild pitch. Somebody get on the horn and find out if 4 strikeouts in an All-Star game inning has ever happened before. You've seen it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Shohei Ohtani.
I think we know a guy who might be able to find that out.
So I took a look on stathead.com on the All-Star Game event finder. So I did this when Soto reached first base. I was looking for the last time somebody reached on a strikeout in an All-Star game. You got to go back to 1944.
Whoa.
Marty Marion reaching first base on a strikeout. I'm going to take a look at that box score and see if that was a 4 strikeout inning by chance.
Wow. And
I love baseball.
Like Kenny said, ladies and gentlemen, StatHead is the biggest resource for baseball information in the universe. For those of you out there who play Perfect Team, StatHead is my go-to resource when I'm doing card research for content sets, for players of the month, for things like that. I could not do it without the amazing information that StatHead provides. I definitely suggest you go check it out. It is, if you are a baseball fan, if you are a stats fan, stathead.com is for you. You literally, in the blink of an eye, can find out the last time somebody reached on a strikeout wild pitch in an All-Star game and find out that it was 1944. So I definitely suggest you guys go check it out for sure.
Just beware, once you log in, you might not log out for like 4.5 straight hours. It happens. Trust me.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but it looks like that inning in the All-Star game, that was the only strikeout of that inning. There was a bunt ground out right afterwards, and then it ended up, there were a couple of walks to load the bases, then ended with a fly ball and a pop fly. So not quite as tidy of an inning as Ohtani put together there to get himself out of the jam.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go back and clip that. That is a historical moment in All-Star game history, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. And speaking of history, Clayton Kershaw, who is 10-0 in the first half of the season, steps on the hill for the National League here to lead off the top of the 4th. He's going to have to face Santana, Alvarez, and Chapman. No positional substitutions yet as we hit the top of the 4th, but I'm sure they're going to be coming fast and furious here pretty soon. Excuse me. Here we go, top of the 4th. Kershaw, first pitch to Santana. And that is a line drive, lightly hit to short. We'll probably call it a line drive in the scorebook, but Story makes the play easily for out number 1. And that'll bring up Alvarez, 0 for 1 so far in the game, shift around to the right side. He's going to go against the shift. That's high and deep to left field. At the track, at the wall, it's out of here. Yordan Alvarez has put the American League on the board with a full count opposite field home run on a 71-mile-an-hour curveball from Clayton Kershaw, and this ball game is 1-1. Wow, again, Alvarez has had an absolutely monster first half down in the hot Texas heat, and he's bringing his laser show to Dodger Stadium so far. Refresh me real quick, Kenny. Does he lead the American League in RBIs with 91?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it's even close.
I think he's a good couple of touchdowns to borrow a saying from a different sport ahead of his next closest competitor. And he's got himself a home run and an RBI here in the All-Star game. Yes, Rich?
Yeah, I think Lindor is second. But, he's ahead by a bunch.
He's ahead.
Lindor and Shed Long both have 79 behind his 91.
So there you go, a solid 12 lead. And again, he's got a home run and an RBI here in Dodger Stadium on the big stage. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Kershaw, the hometown guy, trying to reset, facing Matt Chapman. The count is 2-2. And Chapman lifts that into right field. That is going to be caught out there by Christian Yelich for out number 2. That'll bring up Yasmani Grandal, who's reached on a questionable infield single last time as he nubbed it to first, and Alonso unable to flip it to the pitcher in time. Here is the 2-2 pitch. And he goes down swinging. So Kershaw recovers to get out of the inning, but a home run allowed to Alvarez, and after 3.5, it is 1-1. We go to the bottom of the 4th now. Andrew Heaney into the game from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, whatever they're going by these days. Let's just keep adding words to the end of it if humanly possible. Cross-town rivals, of course. He's going to face Real Muto Dahl and Trevor Story here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-2 is the count. And that is on the outside corner, called strike 3. Real Muto doesn't like it. Flashes home plate umpire Joe West a bit of a look. And
the Joe West selection was a little controversial.
it was definitely severely controversial, but let's not go down that road.
All right.
It's a strikeout in the scorebook and 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. If you are perfect team players, we are going to be giving away some perfect points in the 6th inning of tonight's ball game.
Nice.
As it is 2020, we are going to give away 2 prizes of 20,000 perfect points apiece for our users out there in the 6th inning of today's ball game. So make sure you guys stick around for that. If you guys need to pick up a program for how to enter, you can check out sections 49, 17, and 22A for all your information. We would like to thank the OOTP program crew for all their hard work and volunteer dedication. 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. David Dahl, 1 for 1 in the game, steps in to face the lefty. 1-2 is the count. And he goes down looking another strikeout on the right side of that home plate. Joe West gives him the call, and it's 2 down. Trevor Story now had a followed-up Dahl single with a single of his own. Here comes the first pitch from Heaney. And that is popped up in the infield. Playable. Third baseman takes charge. Chapman pulls it down. And after 4, it's 1-1. Kenny Jacklin of Baseball Reference, how are you feeling out this game so far? Low scoring, not a whole lot going on. Solo home run on each side. What are your thoughts here as we got 4 innings in the books?
Kind of power versus power. Lots of strikeouts, lots of home runs. We've been seeing, a lot of the best guys in baseball doing their thing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if each side has had a chance to kind of string together a few hits, but hasn't been able to kind of turn it around. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, Rich, could you do me a solid?
I sure can.
Could you get a giveaway ready, and then when we get to the 6th inning,
I absolutely can do that.
My stream elements is acting up. I can't seem to be able to log in currently.
I am on it, sir.
Yeah, how come the bench is not making appearances here? I wonder if it's because we're playing it out and the bench is not. We should have. I'll tell you what. You know what we're gonna do?
We can force it, right?
We're gonna make some substitutions ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go in and we're gonna make some subs. Oh baby, oh baby. So let's go to the AL. We're gonna put. What does that do if I do that? Let's see. Back to game action. American League sub. So I'm just gonna make a few changes here. Chat, and then we're gonna. Oh, we gotta get Shed Long in there.
Matt, by the way, says it usually waits until the 5th inning for the All-Star game.
Oh, does it? Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll sim another inning then. We'll keep going as is. Matt,
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good.
That's what our guy Matt says.
All right, we will trust in Matt and see what happens. We'll give it another inning. And I know when I did the test, I just loaded the game and then I hit simulate to the end, and it did do substitutions.
Right.
Pretty normally. I got to go back and set it to AI control, otherwise we're gonna have some problems because it won't do anything.
Right. We might have the Rich Grisham settings here, which is circa 1986, where the players stick around a little longer.
Exactly. Well, speaking of substitutions, Kwang Hyun Kim, technically a rookie in Major League Baseball, comes into the game now from the St. Louis Cardinals. A very impressive first season for Kim, 6-1, 77 strikeouts and only 16 walks in 69 and 2/3 innings to a 2.71 ERA. He's going to face the bottom 2 of the AL order here, LeMahieu and Buxton, and then Lindor in the leadoff spot. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Kim. And LeMahieu laces that one into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Leadoff man on here for the American League, 4th hit of the game for their side. And we have a man on. Buxton now going to step in. Do we see a sacrifice bunt here? Here's hoping no, but People in the chat asking, but when the giveaway is going to start? We're going to be doing the giveaway around the 6th inning. So stick around for that and instructions on how to enter. If you're a regular, you got her down pat already. So here's Buxton now, 2-0 the count. That ball is laced into left field, but it will be caught. Soto able to backtrack a little bit to his right and make the play for the first out of the top of the 5th. And back to the top of the order now, and we do have a substitution. Marcus Semien of the Oakland Athletics is going to step into the box here with one down and a runner at first base. Infield's going to move around to the left against him a little bit. Ozzie Albies going to stay on the right side of second, but playing a little bit behind the bag here, double play depth. 0-2 is the count. Semien goes down swinging. That one up in the zone. Semien chases that one on 0-2. Out number 2 here in the inning for Kim. And that'll bring up Michael Brantley now with 2 down. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That ball's nubbed in front of the plate. Ray Almuto up with it and makes the play, so a leadoff single goes absolutely nowhere for the American League. And we're halfway home here at Chavez Ravine, and it's a close one. 1-1 ball game. Rich.
Yes.
If you're playing the hard money tie game, middle of the 5th inning, who are you laying down that $10 on?
I'd feel a lot better about my National League if my man Jacob deGrom was an option for us to bring in here. But I'm a National League for life guy. I'm going National League all the way. I just top to bottom, I think they got a little bit more juice this year. So I'm still feeling good about my NL.
Okay. We do have a couple of substitutions for the American League here. Blake Snell of the Tampa Bay Rays takes over the pitching duties, and he'll have a new battery mate as what I can only assume is Kenny's favorite player in the whole world, Mitch Garver, takes over behind the plate. Kenny, who's your favorite current Twins player?
My favorite current Twins player is probably Byron Buxton, but Nelson Cruz has been climbing that list lately too.
Man, can that guy hit?
Oh yeah,
Nelly Cruz is a bit of a wild animal with a baseball bat in his hands.
Man,
I have to admit.
There's not a lot of guys when they're at the plate. You just stop and you definitely watch. But he's one of those guys. It's fascinating to watch him swing a bat.
I don't disagree. So here we go, bottom of the 5th inning now, 1-1 ball game. Snell falls behind 1-0 here. And that is laced into center field. That is going to be a base hit. Ozzie Albies turns around to the right-hand batter's box and picks up a single to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Excuse me. So the NL have their first runner on with their 4th hit of the ball game, and they're going to turn it over to the top of the order now for Juan Soto. Full count to Soto. That's laced into left field. That's going to be a tough play. That's going to go over the wall. Wow, that one just kept carrying in the hot California heat. And Juan Soto turns up the dial, a 2-run home run, and it's 3-1 National League. Wow, that one got out of here in an absolute hurry.
Man.
I didn't think that one was going to have the legs, but again, here at Dodger Stadium, you have those short little walls in each of the corners, and that one just kept carrying, and it cleared the wall by a few feet, 382 feet down the left field, not really the line, but over in that area. And wow, just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it's 3-1. The National League going to send up a pinch hitter now as Soto's teammate in the Nationals outfield, Victor Robles, going to make an appearance here with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Snell still on the mound. 1-2 is the count. And Robles goes down looking. Snell bounces back quickly with a changeup. And it is out number 1 here in the inning. Arenado now is going to step in. He's 1 for 2 so far. Again, hit that home run in the bottom of the 1st inning to get us going here. Full count pitch from Snell. That one is lifted into center. Trout, who was already shading a bit to pull, saunters on over as only Mike Trout can and reaches up and makes the play for out number 2. And that'll bring up another pinch hitter now, a man who is off to a fantastic start already at 2020, and that is Ronald Acuna Jr. hitting .303 with 22 home runs and 21 RBIs. Kenny, Ronald Acuna Jr. very famously has said many times over the last probably 12 months that he thinks he could be a 50-50 ball player. Do you think 50-50 is something that is achievable, not just by Acuna Jr., but anybody?
Oh, man. We don't see a whole lot of that. I mean, we don't see a whole lot of guys stealing 50 bases at all these days, let alone with 50 home runs behind it, too. But, he's got the talent to do it. I think if he hadn't ended his season a little bit early last year, he would have had 40-40 without a problem. And he's still so young, so I wouldn't want to rule anything out, but that would be an impressive feat.
If you ask our head of community, TJ Lauerman, if Acuna could do it, he'd probably bet the house on it.
Yeah, if you ask a Mets fan who's terrorized by this Atlanta franchise every single year of my life, I would bet on it happening. That guy is so good. It's incredible to watch these guys play, especially when they're beating your team up. I have no doubt that if he wants to do it in 2021 or 2022, he can do it.
I feel like in a full season where they play 18 games against the Mets, that's 15 home runs and 15 steals out of the way right there. and a 400 batting average. So, I mean, All right, well, let's keep on going now with Acuna Jr. pinch hitting here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. The 2-2 count. And Acuna here goes down swinging. But the damage has been done here in the bottom of the 5th. A 2-run home run off the bat of Juan Soto. And the National League have taken a 3-1 lead here after 5 innings. Walker Buehler into the game now to take over on the hill for the National League. I'm just taking a quick look to see if we've had any other changes. NL side remains the same. The American League will send a pinch hitter up. And it's time for the Yankees fans in the chat to get rowdy.
And now,
because Mike Tauchman.
Interesting. Yes, exactly. This guy's interesting. He's been quite the celebrity in the baseball reference simulation. I know Kenny's heard quite a bit, maybe not so much in the last month or so, but I know Kenny's gotten a lot of Tauchman flack, I think, right, Kenny? Do I have that right?
He's definitely been a name that wasn't expected to show up on as many leaderboards as he has. So that's been, we've gotten a lot of tweets, a lot of feedback about that. But with the size of the Yankees fan base, I don't think too many of them were all that disappointed.
No.
Chris, did you want me to fire up the giveaway yet?
Yeah, Rich, you can start it up now. We are in the 6th inning. So Rich is going to get the giveaway going, ladies and gentlemen, for our perfect team users out there. Exclamation point ticket in the chat will get you into the draw. Rich is going to man that again. Yep. We will close the giveaway at the conclusion of the bottom of the 6th inning. So if you're going to get in, now's the time. As we always say on This Week at Perfect Team, you cannot win if you are not in. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the perfect segue. Because did you know that This Week at Perfect Team, our flagship program, will be live once again this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. We are kicking off our Face of the Franchise Mission program. We've got some cool new stuff. We've got a brand new thing. And ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. I can confirm that the missions will go live at the conclusion of Thursday night's stream.
Oh, yeah.
Typically, we release them on Friday morning, but we're doing something different for Face of the Franchise. You can hang out at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and catch the reveal of the 5 first rewards that we're going to be dropping. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 hour later, the missions will be live in game for you to complete and collect. So again, make sure you're here 2 nights from tonight as we kick off our Face of the Franchise mission program on This Week in Perfect Team. And let's go back to the action now in the top of the 6th inning. Walker Buehler facing Mike Tauchman. 0-2 is the count. And something for the Yankees fans to be upset about as Tauchman goes down looking on 3 pitches for out number 1.
Go cry in your trophy case, Yankees fans. We got enough of them.
We need horn? Okay, sorry, guys. Sorry, people in the chat were asking for the horns. I have to give them horn. Carlos Santana now is going to step in, shift around to the right side, and he goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Buehler. That one on a full count pitch goes with the slider for out number 2. Here's Yordan Alvarez. Has the AL's only run of the game, a solo home run in the top of the 4th. Full count pitch. And that's popped up into center field. And on comes Robles. And he makes the play. 3 up, 3 down for Walker Buehler against the American League. And we're going to go to the middle of the 6th inning. Still a 3-2 ball game. Kenny, National League has a 2-run lead now. Looking at the guys that they have down in the bullpen, the arms, do you think they're going to be able to hang on to this 3-1 lead?
I think so. I think they've got a strong staff. If I'm really going to try to slam the door, I'm letting Buehler go the rest of the way. But yeah, I think that they've definitely got plenty of talent there to protect this lead, especially with Jansen at the very end to kind of slam the door in the 9th.
Rich, do you think at this point the American League, who they've had a little bit going, but it's been separated. Obviously, the Alvarez home run kind of stands alone. They've had a runner on here and there, not really able to move it around. As they start bringing their substitutions into the ball game here, do you think maybe that will be able to change the clutchness level a little bit? Do you think they'll be able to overcome this 3-1 deficit? All
it takes is a bloop and a blast. I've seen far too many of these guys that are playing for the American League do just that. So I'm not supremely confident as a fan of the National League. I feel good, but by no means is this thing over. No means at all. The American League has some fantastic at bats, and they aren't going to go down quietly.
All right. Well, we'll see how it concludes here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Again, quick reminder: you have this half inning to enter exclamation point ticket in the chat if you would like to get in and be part of the 20,000 perfect point draw, as we will be drawing that at the top of the 7th inning. So here we go. Rafael Montero of the Texas Rangers into the game. Again, another one of those guys that you look down the American League reserves and you're like, huh? But hey, here he is. Everybody's got to be represented, ladies and gentlemen. And Rafael Montero is one of those representatives from the Texas Rangers. See what he could do here in the bottom of the 6th as Miguel Rojas steps in. Now, Kenny, we talked about Miguel Rojas on the podcast. A very, very surprising season from the Marlins shortstop so far.
Yeah, the Marlins got off to a really hot start as the simulation got going and had jumped up to the top of the NL East, and they've faded all the way back to the bottom. But Miguel Rojas was a big driver of that. I think he had one of the best, if not the best, wins above replacement totals in the month of April in the National League. So he was definitely in the conversation as one of the league's most valuable players early on, and he's gotten that recognition in the All-Star game for that.
And he's probably going to be the most hated person from one guy in this room, because Miguel Rojas is pinch hitting for Pete Alonso.
If there's an error at first base to lose this game for the National League, I'm just going to sit here and point. I'm going to point at the screen.
Well, here we go. Miguel Rojas leads out the bottom of the 6th against Rafael Montero. 2-0 is the count. And Rojas, one bouncer to third. Chapman up with it, makes that great throw. Elite defense over at the hot corner from Chapman. And it's one down, 5-3 on the putout. Another pinch hitter coming in here for the NL, and it is behind the plate. It's going to be Buster Posey as he steps in here against Montero. 1-2 is the count. And Posey goes down swinging. Sinker on the outside corner there. Posey not able to make contact, and that's out number 2. And that'll bring up David Dahl now, 1 for 2 in the game. Here comes the 1-1 from Montero. And that ball is looped into right field. It's going to be a tough play, but he's going to make it. A great play for LeMahieu going into the outfield over his left shoulder. 3 up, 3 down for Montero.
Ooh. Do you see Montero pointing at the announcer booth? Is he pointing at you, Chris, saying I belong here? I think that's what he said.
Probably. But we're 2/3 of the way through, ladies and gentlemen, and it is 3-1 National League. Ladies and gentlemen, you have 10 seconds left to type exclamation point ticket in the chat before I tell Rich to push the button. Again, you have a chance to win yourself 20,000 perfect points. We will draw 2. As always, you can either whisper the Twitch channel here at OOTP Developments, or you could DM me in the Discord with your Perfect Team username and your team name, and I will get you those points lickety-split. All right, Rich, do your thing, and let's see who's going home with some perfect points.
All right, the giveaway is now closed. The first winner of 20,000 perfect points is Baseball Ghost. Congratulations, Baseball Ghost.
Baseball Ghost, congrats, my man.
And the second winner and the final winner of 20,000 perfect points is Mad Mutts. Good job, Mad Mutts.
Congratulations, Baseball Ghost and Mad Mutts again. You guys can either whisper us here on Twitch or DM me. I'm in the upper right-hand corner of the Discord, Chris, live content with your username and the proper capitalization for Perfect Team 21. And your team name will get you those points after the stream is over. As we go to the top of the 7th inning now, Emilio Pagan from the San Diego Padres into the game. Let's see what other changes. We have Chris Bryant takes over at first base for the NL. Buster Posey stays in the game behind the plate. And that's it. And Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros will lead it off here for the AL. 0-1 is the count from Pagan. And Bregman with a fly ball to left. Not very deep. And Soto will reach up and make the play for out number 1. Mitch Garver now is going to step in for his first at-bat. Came in as a defensive replacement in the 5th inning. 1-2 count from Pagan. And Garver, fly ball to left. Soto coming in and a little bit to his left, and he will make that play as well. Back-to-back F7s. And we've got 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning. And we have a pinch hitter. And this is the man everyone's all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, from the Seattle Mariners. Second baseman Shed Long Jr. Guys, I don't like if you would have told me that in the 2020 simulation, Shed Long would be at the All-Star break with 24 home runs and 79 RBIs, I would have told you, yeah, he definitely will. But nobody asked me. Kenny, easy to say that Shed Long's the most surprising player in the first half of the BB Ref simulation?
He's definitely up there. I think we talked about Mike Tauchman as well, but yeah, Shed Long, definitely a surprising name to see with that. That's a 40 home run pace for a full season. So a big outburst of power out of a guy that just that doesn't have a very good track record of hitting for that much power. So yeah, certainly a surprise.
Rich, can I ask what may be a less than obvious question?
Of course.
Is Shed Long one of those guys that the Mets had and they traded away for nothing just because that's what the Mets do? I'm just asking.
Generally speaking, if you find a ball player who is not with his original team and he's having an all-star caliber year, there is probably a history of him being in the Mets organization, probably drafted by them.
I know Shed Long wasn't actually with the Mets, but there is another extremely highly touted prospect with Seattle.
Never heard of him.
Who, when we might be doing this in future years, will probably be patrolling one of the outfield spots for the AL. But listen, we're not here to talk about what hurts Rich on the inside. We're here to talk about. We'll talk about Kalinick another time.
Yeah, the next thing I know, we're gonna have a conversation about Bobby Bonilla getting paid. I mean,
no, that's a Canada Day thing. It's that's very old news. Although, I mean, to be fair, he's one of the highest paid players so far this season. So, all right, we're top of the 7th, 2 down. Shed Long Jr. in here. Here's the first pitch from Pagan, and Long hits that to left center field, and that's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Long is around first, on his way to second. Shed Long Jr. with a 2-out double, and the American League trying to get something going here in the top of the 7th. Byron Buxton now still in the game, with a chance to put a hurt on and make this game a little bit closer as we get into the later innings. 1-2 is the count from Pagan. And Buxton goes down looking. He doesn't like the call. has a few words for the home plate umpire on the way back to the dugout. But nonetheless, stretch time here at Dodger Stadium, and it is National League 3, American League 1. The 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Out of the Park Baseball 21, the ultimate baseball management experience. Available at OOTPdevelopments.com, Steam, and the Mac App Store. Check it out now. I know most of you in the chat are probably already avid OOTP baseball fans, but hey, do us a favor. Tell a friend, tell a parent, tell a relative, tell a stranger on the street about how much fun you have playing Out of the Park Baseball 21 and watching me live out my childhood dream of doing play-by-play for a virtual simulated All-Star game. OOTPdevelopments.com. Check it out now. Let's turn it over now to the bottom of the 7th inning. Lucas Giolito enters the game for the American League from the Chicago White Sox. Quickly scanning. Don't see any other changes. So we will have Trevor Story leading it off here against Giolito. 1-1 is the count. And Story loops that one into right field against the shift. That's going to be a leadoff single for Trevor Story. Story aggressively rounds first, but he's going to hold up. So the leadoff man is on here in the bottom of the 7th for the NL. And Ozzie Albies now at the bottom of the order, about to turn it back over to the top. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Albies. And that ball is laced down the right field line. That's high and deep, and it's out of here.
There we go.
Ozzie Albies doubles the lead with a 2-run home run that scrapes the wall in right field. And it's
the two scenarios where you'll see me happy for a Brave to do well.
And it is 5-1 for the National League as they put their foot on the gas a little bit here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Still nobody out. We're turning it back over to the top of the National League order. And Jesse Winker of the Cincinnati Reds going to come in here as a pinch hitter. Again, not super impressive on the stat line, but every team has to be represented in some way, shape, or form. 12 homers, 35 RBIs, and an .869 OPS for Winker so far. Here's the 1-2 from Giolito. He goes down swinging for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Victor Robles now going to step in for the second time in the game. 0-2 the count from Giolito. And Robles goes down looking. Giolito bounces back from the 2-run home run with back-to-back strikeouts. Manny Machado marks another pinch hitter here in the inning from the San Diego Padres as he steps in against Giolito in the bottom of the 7th. Here comes the 1-2. That ball's hit high and deep to center field. That's going to go over the center fielder's head and all the way to the wall. Machado with a pinch hit 2-out double. And the inning will continue here for the National League. That is their 8th hit of the ball game. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to step in now. Here comes the 0-2 from Giolito. Grounder to third base. Picked up, thrown across the dime, and that's going to do it. So another 2 runs on the board, another 2-run home run, and after 7 innings, it is 5-1 for the National League. As we go back,
I can tell this isn't real life because that ball over Buxton's head, he didn't crash into the wall trying to catch it and injure himself.
That is true. That is a thing that may or may not have happened multiple times. As we go back to the press box here, Chris Jardine from Out of the Park Developments, joined by Rich Grisham and Kenny Jacklin of Baseball Reference. Kenny, we got 7 innings in the books here. National League in control. You rightly said that you thought the National League were going to hang on. Are you surprised that the American League through 7 innings really not able to muster anything? We talked earlier on about the strength of the NL pitchers. It looks like it's come to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, not too big of a surprise. I think the runs that they've gotten through just moments of power against just power hitting versus power pitching, and especially with the lead that they've got now, I can definitely see the NL finishing this one off.
Rich, what do you think are some of the key storylines that we've seen so far? I mean, we've seen a lot of strikeouts. We've seen several home runs. It seems to be pretty much 2019 continued here in the All-Star game with, big power and big whiffs.
Yeah, I think if the score holds, it's really going to be sort of Giolito is going to get a lot of the blame, right? 3-1 is one thing, 5-1 is another. Giving up a couple of runs and getting nobody outs and seeing that 3 go to a 5 is tough. So I think unless we see a pretty big shift, I think Giolito is ultimately going to be sort of looked at as the fall guy here. But again, maybe it's just, from my team only winning one World Series in over 30 plus years since I've been watching them, but I'm not convinced the American League doesn't have a comeback left in them yet.
They've got some big bats sticking around. I think they're gonna load it up, and then they've got that young lad Vlad Guerrero Jr. sitting over there. Maybe we'll see a little bit of fireworks. We've still got 2 innings to go as we go back to field level here at Dodger Stadium. It is the top of the 8th inning. The National League have brought in Freddie Peralta of the Milwaukee Brewers, having a very impressive season so far, 128 strikeouts in just over 100 innings. Let's take a look at some of the substitutions. Adam Frazier has entered the game in left field for the National League is the one other change. Excuse me. And Marcus Semien is going to be the leadoff hitter here. Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
I mean, well, only you and Kenny heard that. The stream did not hear me sneeze, but I managed to mute myself in OBS. I didn't have time to go mute myself in Skype.
That's funny.
So Rich was, people are like, "Why did Rich say excuse me? I should have just let it go."
I just want Chris to feel blessed. Really, that's all.
Thank you very much. And yes, Lobat, I do appreciate you recognizing that I am wearing a sports coat and I am sweating profusely with the large bright lights on. I am listen, I think after this, Rich and I are going to have a long conversation about live in-game commentary for Out of the Park 22. It's just where I feel like this is going. But all right, back to the field. Marcus Semien to lead it off, currently slotted in the top of the order. All right, here we go. And that is a full count walk. Semien with the walk, the leadoff walk here in the top of the 8th. The AL going to try to get something cooking here early. Michael Brantley's going to make a 4th plate appearance here with Semien over at first, nobody out, top of the 8th. And that is looped into right field, not very deep. Albie's able to go back and make the play for out number 1. Here's Tauchman, still in the game. Chance to make the Yankees fans happy, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the first pitch from Peralta. And Tauchman rips that into center field, but it's going to be caught by Robles. The man is the Flash out there. Not much gets down when he's on the prowl. He catches that one for out number 2. So, well, hey, giving the Yankees fans something else to cheer about as Gleyber Torres grabs a bat and steps out of the dugout. Gleyber having a great season so far, hitting 300, OPS and 925, 25 home runs, 71 RBIs, 2 down. Semien over at first. American League's running out of outs here. Here comes the 3-0 from Peralta. Torres is swinging and lifts a high fly ball to center, but that's going to be caught out there by Victor Robles, and the American League are going to walk away empty-handed in the top of the 8th. Yeah, you got to take the walk there, down 4 runs. Got to take a pitch or two.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go to the bottom of the 8th now. Ian Hamilton into the game for the American League. Who? Chris Bryant, who took over defensively at first base after Pete Alonso was mercifully pinch hit for by Miguel Rojas, will make his first plate appearance of the game, facing Hamilton, who has a 2.22 ERA on the season for the Chicago White Sox. 3-1 is the count, and that's going to be a walk. Low and inside, really never had a chance. Bryant draws a free pass. And the leadoff man is on for Buster Posey. Here comes the first pitch. And Posey hits that hard to center field, but right at Buxton. And Buxton able to unload it to first. And he doubles off Chris Bryant. who got
Wow.
caught sleeping. Byron
Wow.
Buxton with a grade A laser
Wow.
from center field, doubles off Chris Bryant, and just like that, there's 2 down. Maybe that is the play the American League needs to build some momentum. I
knew they were waiting for something big, leaving Buxton in all the way to the 8th inning.
Yes,
so
that's
that must have been what they were waiting for.
My apologies to the family of Heimer Candelario as well, as I did not notice he was substituted in the game at first base here in the top of the 8th inning, picking up the 3 end of that 8-3 double play. So 2 out now, and the pinch hitter for the National League is Colton Wong from the St. Louis Cardinals. 3-0 is the count from Hamilton, and that's going to miss outside for ball 4. So the second walk of the inning for Hamilton, and that is going to keep the inning alive here for another pinch hitter and another St. Louis Cardinal, Paul DeYoung.
Our Cardinals fans are happy with that. We got a lot of them in here.
They probably do. 2-2 is the count. That's a fly ball to left. Coming in is Brantley, and he makes the play. 8 innings in the books, ladies and gentlemen, here at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. And the National League has a firm control of the game. It's 5-1. And the first man out of the bullpen here in the top of the 9th to try to shut it down from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Trevor Williams.
Interesting choice.
Interesting bullpen choice. Obviously playing a little bit of a chess game between the sides. And the lead. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Chris. Has a Pirate played tonight, or is this the first appearance from a Pirate?
This is the first appearance from a Pirate, I do believe.
Okay. That makes sense. I get him in the game, get him to get Pittsburgh represented.
And we also have
Adam Frazier at left field.
Oh, that's right. Frazier did come in as a defensive replacement.
Okay.
That's right. And we have our first appearance from a Toronto Blue Jay, as leading off the top of the 9th inning is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So the American League going to the heavy hitters here in the top of the 9th, down 4 runs. Trevor Williams taking a quick scan for defensive replacements. I don't see any. So here's Guerrero. The count is 1-2. Williams is set. Here it comes. That ball is lifted high, but not very deep into left center field. Robles, again, covering all kinds of ground out there, has recorded the last 3 outs for the National League and has the first one here in the 9th as the American League down to 2 outs. And Alex Bregman, 0 for 1 in the ball game, going to step in here. Here comes the 0-1 from Williams. And that is looped high in the air to right, but not very deep. That is going to be caught out there by Ronald Acuna Jr. And just like that, the American League are down to their last out. And oh no, Kenny, Mitch Garver steps to the plate. The last hope for the American League to try to keep this game going here. The count is 1-2. Williams is set. And grounder to short, a 3-hopper. Throw across the diamond. And the National League All-Stars
There we go.
have held on and defeat the American League All-Stars by a score of 5-1. A well-played game by the National League. The American League get held to 1 run on 5 hits. And the National League pounds out 5 runs on 8 hits. And they hang on for the win. The National League pick it up. A very, very close game, especially until late. The player of the game, brought to you by StatHead.com, is Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves. Ozzie Albies of the Atlanta Braves is your player of the game. Albies, who, where is he? He's at the bottom. Played the entire game, was 2 for 3, and had a 2-run home run, scored 2 runs as well, and had that 2-run home run in the 7th off of Giolito that really put the nail in the coffin in this one. Rich, maybe not the most exciting All-Star game we've ever seen, but again, we did say in the opening, National League pitching absolutely stacked. And you know what? I'll tell you, even with some of their better guys unused in this game, the National League just hold the American League down. American League leaving with a whimper here.
Yeah, it's interesting because, and Chris, and you know this, and Kenny, you do too, because you've been to one, right? There's nothing like an All-Star game. I had never been to an All-Star game in any sport prior to going to the Major League Baseball All-Star game in 2018 in Washington, and then once again in 2019 in Cleveland. And it is unlike any other sporting event I've ever been to. It's a big party. Everyone is just there to have a good time, to wear the shirts and the hats of their favorite team, and to sort of root for their particular league that their team is affiliated with, but really just to kick around and have fun. And I think today's a great example of that. It was 5-1. There was a couple of big moments with a couple of big home runs, but it wasn't a close game. It didn't come down to the last inning. But I guarantee you, every single one of those 55,000 virtual fans who packed into Dodger Stadium tonight had a good time, because the All-Star game, especially in baseball, is unique and incredibly fun, incredibly positive, and the kind of experience that if you are a baseball fan and you ever have the opportunity to go to an All-Star week, I cannot recommend it enough. If you read, people say, All-Star games in all sports, they don't matter anymore, they're not important. Don't listen. Just go and see for yourself. There's nothing quite like it. So I bet you every single one of those fans tonight had a good time, whether the score was 2-1, 5-1, or 15-1.
Yes, and Kenny, the American League strike out 10 times. They leave 13 runners on. Honestly, I think I know what the answer to this question is, but are we surprised that the National League put on as good of a show as they did?
I don't know if I'm too surprised. I feel like they got a lot of their fireworks from some of the guys you'd expect. Nolan Arenado hitting the big home run, and Ozzie Albies has been putting together such a good season. Juan Soto, additionally, leading the National League in wins above replacement and hitting a home run in the All-Star game. So really, really cool to see just, a lot of the great individual performances come through in this game, and kind of be a good reflection of what the simulated like so far.
Yes. Hey.
And
go ahead.
I think everybody that attended this game would be telling everybody they were there when Shohei Ohtani struck out 4 guys in an inning.
That's right.
That's right.
If you guys missed it earlier, we had what we believe is All-Star game history, ladies and gentlemen. Shohei Ohtani struck out 4 batters in an inning after throwing a wild pitch on the strikeout to the first batter. Kwang Hyun Kim of the St. Louis Cardinals picks up the W. Blake Snell of the Tampa Bay Rays going to get saddled with the loss in this one. No save, as it was a 4-run ball game. Guys, Kenny, I'll go to you first. Any final thoughts, and talk a little bit about the sim, the Baseball Reference, Stathead, where people can find it, and any final All-Star game thoughts that you have?
Yeah, so Baseball Reference, we're going to continue the sim, keep updating the results each day, and so feel free to check that out. You can find it on our homepage at baseballreference.com. We also tweet about it periodically. Probably will be a little bit less so as the games get underway in earnest. But you can always find great stuff from us on Twitter at baseball_ref. Stathead.com. Go check it out. It's our suite of tools. We think they're the best baseball research tools in the industry. You can try it for free for a month, and we think you'll love it. And we'd also love to hear any feedback that you've got about it. Feel free to reach out and let us know. As far as the All-Star game, my big takeaway was I had a blast. This was a lot of fun, guys.
Yes, I had a lot of fun as well. I think it was fantastic. I appreciate you doing it. I appreciate the extreme amount of effort and detail and that you guys are putting into the sim. I have fun with it. Like I said, I look forward to the tweet every day. It's part of my daily routine now of looking to see how things are going. Again, I'm typically disappointed, but that's just life as a Toronto Blue Jays fan. Again, Rich is right there with me. He knows what I'm talking about. But we appreciate you, Kenny, coming on and doing that. And I know everyone's going to be looking forward to the second half of the sim and seeing what happens. We have some very interesting storylines as we exit the All-Star game here. Rich, what sort of things are you doing? Talk about how apparently DeGrom left the inter-squad game with back tightness. I'm breaking news in the chat.
What?
I don't know.
Is that true?
Unconfirmed reports that DeGrom left the inter-squad game with back tightness. I wanted your live reaction to that because that'll be a great clip for me to share on the regular here on the channel. But Rich, Rich, give me some final thoughts and what kind of things you're working on here on the channel that people can take a look at.
Well, thanks, Chris. First of all, I want to thank Kenny Jacklin for doing, again, such an amazing job at Baseball Reference. Just to sort of go out on a limb and say, hey, we're going to simulate the season. We're going to put it on our site. We're going to use Out of the Park Baseball 21. Amazing stuff. So thank you, Kenny. And thank you for hanging out tonight. Amazing job by you. And again, I say it all the time because it's true. BaseballReference.com is one of my favorite sites in the world. I go there all the time. It's amazing. So thank you. And thank you, Chris, for pouring your heart and soul into this in a way that only you can and only you do. Everybody that's part of the Out of the Park baseball community recognizes the value that you bring and the seriousness that you take this role. But I just want to say thanks for doing an amazing job. You're all right, Chris. And I will say to conclude that, yes, we will be announcing very soon, within the next day or two, we will be unveiling our official 2020 60-game season predictions. We'll have who's going to win the divisions, who's going to win the wild cards, who's going to win the playoffs, who your big time leaders are going to be, and that's all going to be unveiled live at a place that we've been doing it recently. So everybody should sort of know what that's about, and we're also going to back that up with some deeper dives into it on the podcast, as well as some print outlets or some web outlets that are going to also put all that together. So we got a lot of really fun stuff coming up related to the season, and of course we will be very soon having the entire 60-game season with all the rules, all the rosters, the schedules, the men on second and the 10th inning of extra innings. All of that will be available very soon as well. We're in the final stages of putting all that together. So lots of great stuff coming from Out of the Park Baseball 21. And of course, Chris, as I toss it back to you, some amazing stuff coming up and perfect seat.
Yes, well, like I said, I plugged it earlier. Obviously, you guys are going to want to hang out Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at twitch.tv/OOTP Developments as we kick off the face of the franchise program. It's going to be amazing. And again, if you guys did not hear, the rewards will be unveiled at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The missions will be available at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's right. We're doing the reveal and the release all in the same hour. You're going to be able to catch the cards from 9 until 9:59 p.m. Eastern as I drag it out unquestionably long, I'm sure, as I always do, and ramble on and on and on and on, and make Rich wait before he does his playoff prep stream. And then we're going to drop the missions at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Before we get out of here, guys, first of all, Kenny, I'd like to thank you again very much for taking the time out to do this with us and doing the podcast and doing the sim. This was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll find some way to continue doing this, make this maybe a yearly tradition in the future. Rich, I thank you. I thank you for things all the time, so I'm just going to give you a general thanks. But most of all, everybody who's in the chat watching right now, thank you guys so very much for coming by. We could not do these things. We would not have the desire and drive to do these amazingly cool, fun things if you guys didn't come by and support them and enjoy them. Whether you're watching live right here on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments, or you're watching the archive on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/OOTP Developments. Again, we cannot do this. We would not do this if it wasn't for you guys. So for everyone who's watching, whether it be live or whether it be in the archive, thank you guys so very much. And that's going to do it for us. So for Kenny Jacklin from Baseball Reference, Rich Grisham from Out of the Park Developments, I am Chris Jardine, a.k.a. Snaggle J, Director of Live Content Services for Out of the Park Baseball. And until next time, keep swinging for the fences.